Good evening, everyone. Welcome to what would normally be On the Ring Apron with myself, Steve, my co-host Kia in the background here stepping in. But for a special two-part segment tonight, we actually are going to be doing our top rope spoilers in place of our On the Ring Apron this evening, live to you, our official audience. So first of all, how's everyone doing tonight? Welcome to Happy Friday night. Hopefully everyone's got a fun-filled weekend. Football.
Yep.
Football
Hi,
always fun.
Yep. Hi, everybody. Glad to have you with us.
For those of you who have never had an opportunity to see top rope spoilers, we kind of learned our lesson last week. We can't compete with football. You know,
No,
we
can't.
have no shot of competing against college football. That's just a reality. So we thought we'd try something a little different this week and see if we had the opportunity to be able to do top rope spoilers as our standard Friday On the Ring Apron. So we're trying something a little different here. Hopefully you guys enjoy and hopefully you go along for the ride. It also gives anybody who has never joined us before an opportunity to be able to see what top rope spoilers is all about as we make our selections for this Sunday's pay-per-view, which is NXT Takeover 31.
So for those who have not joined us before, what we like to do here is we like to actually set the board for whatever pay-per-view we're going to be watching on the weekend, which would be NXT 31 this weekend, and we actually give our predictions on who we think we're going to win, and we also give our explanation for why we think they're going to win. So, with that being said, I feel like we can go ahead and kind of get into that. That way you can see what we're talking about.
Exactly. So, let me step back in here. Mm-hmm. Fixing our electronics here. So wanted to give us an opportunity to make our picks for you guys and then tell us what you think. Are we getting them right? Are we not getting them wrong? We currently have the 5 matches that are currently set for NXT Takeover 31 on our board at the moment. There's expected to be a kickoff match. There normally always is, but at the time of this show, we don't know it yet. So.
Yeah.
We will make a pick of some kind, but we'll just put it as a post later on. Mm-hmm. Stay tuned until the end of this though, because we're also going to present something fun that we're going to be doing next week that we've never actually done before. We said some fun-filled stuff was coming up, so we've got an opportunity to do so. For those of you who have joined us, first of all, welcome back. We currently are entering our 10th pay-per-view of the year. 10 already. I can't believe we're moving through this so quickly.
Yep.
I was able to pick up 2 points on Kia and go back ahead by 1 point, so I lead 46 to 45 over the course of the year. But 5 good matches behind us, a potential chance to build up a little bit of steam. Maybe me get a little further ahead, you come back, or potentially get tied again, getting ready for Hell in a Cell here in a couple of weeks.
Which is going to be good, so stay tuned.
Exactly. We tossed a coin beforehand, and Kia won the toss. You chose to go...
I want to go first.
Okay. So we begin with our opening match, of what we project will be the opening match of the card, and that is actually our only non-title match of the evening, and that is a match that's kind of become a rivalry match, as each has cost the other opportunities to be able to compete for the NXT Championship, as we will have Kushida battling against Velveteen Dream. Now, go ahead.
That's going to be quite a match because you have to think both competitors are very well versed in how they feel in the ring, their comfort, their awareness, and the fact that they're comfortable. But seeing these two go up against one another, Dream is very eccentric. Kushida, on the other hand, is also very eccentric. So I'm thinking, looking at this match, how would you feel if you had to compete against one of these competitors?
Well, each has had the opportunity to be able to, compete for, they were originally going for the North American Championship, and then eventually ended up with opportunities to compete for the NXT Championship. Kushida being a part of that Eliminator Gauntlet match. Ultimately, it was a back attack from Velveteen Dream that cost Kushida his spot in that match. So the two of them have been watching as the other essentially takes opportunity after opportunity away from them. So it's finally time for them to, make a decision, and it's finally time for them to do something with Kushida, who seems like has been a person that has either been trying to hold the Cruiserweight division together, but now it's clear they're pushing Kushida in a direction that doesn't involve him needing to be a part of the Cruiserweight story. More on that in a little bit.
Yeah.
But we all know how good Velveteen Dream is. He's been a North American champion before. He's had multiple opportunities at the NXT Championship and put on good matches at the same time.
Exactly.
He's been able to compete well in several ladder matches. So we know he's got the star power, and we know that obviously he loves when the lights are on the brightest around him, because that's when he seems to be at his best.
Exactly.
So I would think that in a match with the takeover stipulation behind it, it would honestly favor Dream, but we know what Kushida can do as well, so it'll be interesting to see if Kushida can bring that fight to such a large match scale.
But since you said bring that fight, have we not seen each and every week Kushida seems like he is all guns blazing, he's coming out, he's doing what he has to do to get the upper hand over his competitors, including the Dream. I've seen it every week, and I think it's been a good thing, so can that fighting spirit go on into this match?
So, with that, we get to our first pick of the evening. Kia, winning the toss, gets to pick first. Who you got?
I'm going to go ahead, and because I am pulling highly for this person, I'm going to say Kushida takes the match.
You like Kushida. Now, how cleanly do you think Dream keeps it, or do you think Kushida just finds a way around it?
I think Kushida, being who he is, finds a way around it to be able to win this match. Dream, on the other hand, I'm not so sure. Dream will do whatever he has to because, again, the lights are on the brightest when it comes to him.
Right. I definitely think that, from an experience perspective, at least in NXT anyway, it's going to favor Velveteen Dream. But Kushida has competed all over the world. You can't ignore the fact that he's competed when bright lights are on the indie circuit, as well as in New Japan and at other locales. Dream is going to use every advantage that he has. We all know that he is capable of being able to survive in matches much longer than most people can. But I'm actually going to agree with you on this one. I do feel like Kushida has found his stride. He's been winning as of late. He beat Austin Theory earlier this past month. And he has found a way to be able to keep Dream in his crosshairs. I do like Kushida also to win this match over Velveteen Dream.
Nice.
So, one pick, and we won't settle anything score-wise. But now let's get to our first of the 4 title matches.
Our Cruiserweight.
The first one is going to be for the NXT Cruiserweight Championship. Still working on updating the belt. Give me some time. We'll eventually be able to get that taken care of here. But it is going to be for the now known as the NXT Cruiserweight Championship. The current champion, Santos Escobar, defending for the 3rd different time against Isaiah Swerve Scott. I have been a proponent of a person who has stated on many occasions that it's very rare you see anyone get 3 shots at a title and not win it at some point. This would be Swerve's 3rd shot at the Cruiserweight Championship and Santos Escobar. It still goes to this date that Swerve to this point is still the only person to hold a victory over over Escobar. In fact, he has 2. But it seems like when the title's on the line, Escobar and his group for Legando just seems to find a way. Is this finally Swerve's moment?
Like you've stated, and I noticed it's been a running trend over SmackDown, over Raw, as well as NXT. When you get 3 shots, it's likely you either don't come out on top of winning that title or that match, or B, you do come out on top. So I mean, I like the match itself and for what it is. I believe Isaiah Swerve Scott, I think, in my opinion, he will win. He will find a way to win. I think he will do it cleanly. On the other hand, Escobar, I don't think so much because he's got what I consider to be the Bollywood boys. Again, you know how I feel. I feel like he's just a generic knockoff of what Jinder Mahal was when Jinder Mahal was here. So, in my opinion, I just see it ending, I don't see it ending cleanly, like it should.
Okay,
for my own reasons.
An unclean end, of course, would mean that Escobar retains. He doesn't necessarily win the match, but he, would at that point walk out as champion. Something that also can't be ignored is, of course, the forthcoming Raw and SmackDown drafts, which always involve a handful of NXT call-ups in most situations. You look at someone like not just Escobar, but the entire Legado del Fantasma group, as well as a person with the capability of Swerve Scott, and also you look at Kushida and Velveteen Dream on the matches further back. These are very highly skilled competitors that would do well being able to compete in either your tag team division or potentially your mid-card on one of these 2 shows. So, if you're going to have a potential title change to allow a champion to be able to be called up, or potentially giving someone their curtain call to potentially get called up to Raw or SmackDown, this is where it happens. So I get to pick first on this one. As I said already, it is extremely difficult to believe that a person can get 3 separate title shots and not win in the end because, at that point, you figure the company has committed no less than probably 2 to 3 months of time to building you up, but each time you lose, it kind of knocks you back down again. And if you take 3 consecutive losses, then at that point, the fan base is really going to believe that, he's never going to get it done. And at that point, I think the story has kind of run dry. So I do believe that no matter how this match ends, this is the end of this run here. I do believe that Swerve Scott has all the talent in the world, but the Legado being behind Escobar is going to be a little bit too much for him to handle. He doesn't have the backup he normally has. He's always had Breezango. He's had Drake Maverick. He's had others. Now they're all dealing with their own mess. Swerve having to do this one alone. With that being the case, I think that's too much numbers. I like Escobar retaining.
Like you stated, Swerve Scott has always had the help of other people. I feel even though those other people have their own thing they have to deal with, I still see, if they're not busy at the moment, I can still see him getting help of some kind. It could either A, play in his favor, or B, it could end up hurting him. As much as I don't like Escobar, and I truly don't, there's no mystery to that, I'm going to have to pull for Mr. Isaiah Swerve Scott, only because I feel like if he's getting this chance again, he is going to win. He's going to give it all he's got. We saw Jay do it, and he gave it all he's got, but he didn't get the job done. I feel Isaiah is going to get the job done. I feel like
third time's the charm.
Yeah, exactly. Gotta get my mark.
Okay, so our first pick going opposite directions. You like the title change?
Yes, I do.
Kia, for those of you who missed Clash of Champions, went for a lot of title changes. And it ended up kind of burning you towards the end, so we'll see if this one goes a little different. But, hey, a lot more to go. We're 2 in. As we said, for those of you just joining us, first of all, thanks for coming out to see us. 2 matches in, 3 more to go. All of them title matches, and then the big announcement of what we're doing next week. So hang around with us for just a little bit longer.
Yeah.
We move on to our third of 5 matches, and this one is for the North American Championship.
Yes.
Currently held by the Archer of Infamy, Damian Priest. He will be battling all heart, no soul of NXT in Johnny Gargano. Now, of course, this is the first of 2 Gargano matches, as of course his wife Candice battling for the women's title. We'll be getting to that here in a minute. But Damian Priest has been, a very much a fighting champion up to this point. Granted, a very short reign up to this point. But ultimately, you look at someone like Gargano, the Triple Crown winner of NXT. He's done it all. He's been in it all. He's won it all. So this will easily be Priest's toughest run and toughest challenger up to this point.
I mean, I like both guys, and here's what's the thing about NXT: when you have all these competitors, men and women, the superstars, it's hard to really pick a side or choose a side or pick a storyline because they all start blending together or bleeding together. And for me, going through up to this match, I love both men in this match, so there's no way I can sit here and say one or the other. But you're looking at Priest; he's held the title for a short period of time. I feel like he's not done. It's not over. Now, Johnny, on the other hand, has been in the spotlight when the lights have been on the brightest. With and without help, he is, he's been face and now he's heel. He's worked with, his former best friend. He's worked with his wife. He, to me, seems like he can get it done. But at the same time, I feel like if we have this match, and it will happen this weekend, I feel like there will be some type of disqualification, which, in my opinion, I feel like Priest would keep the title. Now, we've seen the whole Austin Theory thing and how, Gargano said, soften him up for me, so when it comes to TakeOver, all I have to do is go in and pick up the pieces. I feel like, Johnny could technically win if he had some help from his wife, but she's going to be busy in her own match or getting prepared for her own match, so I feel like Theory, unless Theory is for helping him, I feel like Theory is going to be involved in some way. Priest, good guy, very great Zoom session with him, thanks to DeMario. If you don't know what we're talking about, we'll tell you later. But he's not ready to lose that title. I don't see him losing that title. He's given it a life that it means the title is with him. Like, it's his baby. So I don't see Priest losing.
So is that a pick?
That is an official pick.
As you went through your explanation and then made a pick at the same time.
Yeah, okay, looking kind of sloppy. Go ahead.
So, you look at someone like a Damian Priest, who, at this point the company has now trusted, to hold one of your championships. Typically, the North American title is usually been seen as the stepping stone title. You know where you're heading next when, you win that, and that is going for the big gun, the big title. Johnny Gargano, as we said, has already won it all, done it all.
Yeah.
And so, you're building up the story of him continuing to be, this all heart but no soul moment of NXT. his, heel run with him and Candice LeRae has been one that honestly has kind of been halted before it ever started. They've had these great fun sessions of them being in their, their dining room, and, talking about how the Gargano way is going to change things. And yet, when it comes to these matches, Gargano's not getting it done. He's come up short against Keith Lee for the NXT title. He came up short in the ladder match to try to win this very title right here. It hasn't panned out the way it should, but yet Gargano seems to always still be right there when it's time for title matches to get handed out, and he's always right there with an opportunity. Gargano holds that experience advantage because he's been there, he's done it. Priest, strength advantage because he's bigger, he's stronger. Speed-wise, they're both pretty good. I'd say Gargano's a little faster. But the difference between these two right here, right now, is Gargano, as you pointed out, is going to be willing to do whatever it takes to win. I'm not sure Priest is going to be necessarily prepared for that. We also don't know how much of a role could Candice still come out and play later on if this match ends up being earlier in the night, or maybe if this match opens up, you might have Candice a little more readily available. And Johnny, sticking keys in Keith Lee's eyes was more than ready to be able to do what needed to be done. I like Priest. I really do. And I think he's been fun, but I do think we're going to see a title change here. I like Johnny Gargano winning the North American Championship, and I think it's going to be the start of a big storyline run for him. But does it bleed over? We'll be finding out here in a minute.
Wow.
So, 3 down. That's the only thing I hate about these NXT pay-per-views is they're a lot shorter than these, 8, 9, 10 match cards we have on the main roster, and that's not to say we still won't have the same entertainment value. You know what NXT brings to the table.
Oh my goodness, yes.
But 3 down, and now we're down to our penultimate match, our co-main event, if you will.
The women's.
And that is for the NXT Women's Championship. Genius of the Sky, not Genie.
Yeah.
I'm never going to let you live that down.
For the longest time, I've been calling her like the genie of the sky, and he's been sitting here watching me.
There's the blooper reel.
When it's really genius. And it's even on my shirt, and I messed it up, so.
So the genius of the sky, Io Shirai, defending her NXT Women's Championship against Candice LeRae. Now, we talked about, the Poison Pixie, and her change in mindset very similar to Johnny's. She's tired of being the one who eats second. She's eating first, and this is finally her moment. She wins the Battle Royal to get her title shot one-on-one with Io. Does she finally have what it takes to break through and to become the face of the women's division?
I don't know. Again, I love, again, women's match. It's my thing. Women's empowerment, always my thing. But I feel like Candice, and they keep showing highlight reels and stories, and you just see it week after week after week, and everything that she does. She has been let's not even say the mama bear of this whole entire women's division, where, she's helping you, and she's assisting you, and she's there when you're down, and she's doing the pick-me-up. But when you look at it, and going back and watching some YouTube videos, I've noticed that. I've noticed what she's been saying. Now, she's tired. She doesn't want to do it no more. She feels like she has no help, minus her husband. Nobody's willing to support her, so she has to technically support herself outside of her husband. She ain't going to eat last, and I get it. As a person that, feels like she's been done wrong, she's going to go for the gusto, and if it means having to go through Io Shirai to get it, she will. Io, this girl bad. She has got this mystique and this mystery, and I just love her, like any other. And she's not letting that title go, I don't think, in my mind, but I feel like Candice is just like her husband. She's going to do what she has to do. As you've noted, Johnny is going to do what he has to do, but it's been at the expense of his wife when she's gotten knocked out, when she's gotten injured, when something has happened. Candice, I feel like, will do everything as the Poison Pixie to take that title off of Io.
So, you look at the long line of people that Io Shirai has been able to beat up to this point since either winning or becoming champion or retaining it. She has beaten the likes of Charlotte Flair. She's beaten Rhea Ripley. She has beaten Raquel Gonzalez. She's beaten Tegan Nox, and she has beaten Shotzi Blackheart.
Yes.
She is mowing through this women's division, and it's a damn good division, too.
Yes, it is.
So Candice LeRae seems to be the next stepping stone. But it also kind of begs the question, if Candice doesn't stop her, who is going to stop her? Because eventually you're going to run out of contenders. You're also going to run out of people that, you know, she's going to be able to reasonably go up against. At some point, someone's got to take the title off of her, and why not someone with the vindictive new mindset of Candice LeRae? Because just like we talked about with Johnny earlier, her run has kind of has been stalled before it ever started because of the fact that it seems like she had this heel push but could never really get that big win. In my memory, outside of her Battle Royal, she's only had one real major win, and that was her beating Mia Yim in a street fight immediately following a takeover.
Yeah.
So you look at something like that and you go, you know, okay, well, all of this has built up to this moment. If Candice is going to truly be viewed as the heel you want her to be, she has to win the championship, or at least has to look the heel part, even if EO somehow narrowly escapes with the title, to make it realistic enough that Candice is a true threat. Otherwise, everything you've done with her, and same thing back here with Johnny, you know, it's all for nothing. So really, I feel like these two are kind of interconnected, where either it's going to be both are going to win,
I agree,
or neither are going to win. And so, all of that considered, you know, if I took Johnny back here, I feel like I'm almost obligated to take Candice up here. I do think at this point you're going to see a side of her that we haven't seen up to this point. She's going to find a way to finally get that one last big vindictive moment. It's going to be the difference. I like Candice LeRae winning the NXT Women's Championship. She's been here. She's been the veteran. Very similar to what you could say maybe about like a Natalya on the main roster.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the person who's been there, she's been the mother figure, and she's been there. She's the longest tenured person on the NXT Women's roster. She's due for that shot, and I think she gets it.
Here's my thing with that. I feel like, you know, she needs to get her chance. She needs to get what she feels like she deserves. On the other hand, who all have you had to screw over in the process to get where you've got to be?
Her enemy list is a lot longer than her friends list.
Exactly.
In fact, she might have a non-existent friends list.
That's what I'm thinking. Minus her husband. Again, Io has been a gracious, fighting competitor and champion. I think honestly, that match will be affected due to the fact that Candice has not mowed her, but has kind of taken one by one and has kind of turned her back on the women's division. I can't say I'm going to pull for her. My heart will be with her. I wish her the best of luck in this match. But I'm going to have to go with Genius of the Sky, Io Shirai. Hey, that kind of rhymed.
All right, so hey, we're definitely going to see some score changes in this pay-per-view. We're not going to be doing any of this, hey, we tie the entire time. I like it. We're going to see some movement on the scoreboard this time. And one personal note on my part, for those of you who aren't aware, and this is because we're speaking about our women's division, a very loving and speeding recovery to an NXT women's vet that we recently got a chance to meet on a Zoom meeting, and that is Tegan Nox. For those of you who are not aware, she has re-torn her ACL in her leg. I've had that happen to me before. It is not a ton of fun. It's about a year's worth of rehab. This is actually the third time this has happened to her. This was the same injury that she took when she battled in the Mae Young Classic a couple of years ago. It took her forever to come back. And it seemed like they had just gotten her back up to where she was going to be the big name, be the big gun. And now she's going to have to sit on the shelf for about another year.
And I hate that because I got behind her. I loved her. So to Tegan, speedy recovery from the both of us. We hope you get better. Come back in beast mode, please.
Yeah, I say we need the shiny wizard back with us.
Yep.
So speedy recovery. We wish you all the best. You know, our heart's with you. I know there's thousands of others who are thinking the same thing. And we know you'll be watching Takeover too. So rest up, enjoy. We can't wait to have you back. But let's move on to our main event, and oh my lord, what a main event it is!
Oh my god!
For those of you who believe in, dream matches, they talk about, these dream matches that you can have, but most of the time, the reason why they're called dream matches is because one of them has already retired, or one of them's on another show, or one of them's injured, or something to where the only reason you can have it is literally in a dream or in your head. You are getting a main event of NXT Takeover 31 that is going to feature two of the absolute best wrestlers on not just NXT, not just in WWE, but on planet Earth itself. NXT Championship being defended by the new champion, the Prince, Finn Balor, battling Undisputed Era's Kyle O'Reilly. You're looking for high-flying action. You're looking for overall just talent. You're looking for two people ranked within pro wrestling's top 20 in this entire world. You're getting it right here. This has match of the year, definitely NXT match of the year. Right now, written all over it. I mean, the expectations are through the roof on this one.
But you know me, and you know as my husband, I have been the biggest, hugest Finn fan, maybe outside of little mini Balor. But I love Finn. But nobody in the world do I love more than Finn than Kyle O'Reilly, and the fact that he's getting a chance. Not getting a chance, excuse me, my bad. He's earned this chance without the help of his undisputed brothers. So
he won that Eliminator Gauntlet, being the first one out.
Yeah.
And he did it with no help.
No help, and he lasted. And I don't even know how to feel about this match. Besides, I'm excited. I cannot wait. This is the match, honestly, outside of this one, I want to see. It's got to go down.
You can tell you've done it because she's bit her lip. Seriously, walk up to the camera. You've literally bit your lip. It's bleeding.
I don't want people to see that.
That tells you how much she's looking forward to this one. She's over here biting her lips already, and we're still 48 hours from this match starting.
Oh my gosh.
Finn Balor, came back to NXT, and everyone was stunned when his music hit in front of a live crowd when we were still having live crowds at Full Sail. And he came back with one thing in mind, and that is to win this championship. He said, and I don't need NXT. NXT needs me.
Yes.
They need Finn Balor. They can't exist at the level they're at without Finn Balor. And it took him, nearly a year, but he got there, and he won the championship, beating the longest reigning champion and other fellow undisputed member in Adam Cole cleanly to win that match. Now he faces another Undisputed Era member in Kyle O'Reilly, who, as you pointed out, has done this entire pathway completely on his own.
Yeah.
And you've had folks like Pat McAfee and Nigel McGuinness who have been trying to stir the pot, trying to sit here and go, how's Adam Cole going to feel about this? How does he feel about one of his, supposedly subordinate people in Undisputed getting a title shot and maybe winning a championship that he held longer up? And Cole has been very upfront, says nobody deserves this shot more than he does. And I hope he wins. But it's also very clear Undisputed is going to let Kyle do this, go all the way to this on his own, because they want no controversy, they want no questions. And in a way, I truly believe they're going to do this. I really think they're going to let Kyle do this 100% on his own, which is going to make the task and the mountain to climb that much harder, because Finn Balor is well, first of all, he is, they talk about Shawn Michaels being Mr. WrestleMania. Well, Mr. NXT Takeover is Finn Balor.
Exactly.
He has one loss at Takeover in his career up to this point. I think he's something like 14-1. I mean, Takeover has been his backyard.
Yeah. Ben, I've told you, and you've had to hear this ever since this match was announced. I am conflicted because I love both men very much. And when we go to house shows and when we go to see them, when they come out separately, I love them both. I scream and I shout and I get up and I get excited. And to get to see this match for me, I love Finn. He has done it all. He came back from the main roster to come back to NXT. And the fact is new. I wouldn't say it's cocky if you own it and you got it and you know you have it. I'm seeing a shade of Finn that I have never seen before.
There's a fine line between cocky and confident.
Then he's confident.
Finn is confident. He doesn't just think he's the best. He believes and knows he's the best, and basically says, if you disagree, come prove me wrong.
He's also a fighting champion, and what I like about that is Kyle is willing to take on that challenge. If you go back and look at NXT, look at the interview that was done between these two with Shawn Michaels asking the hard-hitting questions, or what I felt were the hard-hitting questions, and Finn, being who he is, kind of throwing a little shade, kind of trying to get up underneath, the skin of O'Reilly, get in his head, kind of play a couple of mind tricks. That shit, I'm going to say it for what it was, did not faze him.
Kyle is not scared of this moment. He is not scared of the lights of him getting a one-on-one match for the biggest title in NXT. You look at what he brings to the table, everyone knows of his talent level, but it's always been as a member of a stable. And Balor, like you said, throwing shade, saying, not only are you not the best person in this business, you're not even the best person in your own stable. I was like, whoa, and
my boy over here, O'Reilly, didn't let that bother him. But like you stated, Adam Cole is not upset. I think in the background, he's already gone against Finn. Finn beat him several times. He's going to be able to say, here's what I've seen, here's what's happened, here's what I've done, here's what I think you need to try. I think Adam Cole being the longest reigning NXT champion is going to get him prepped for this match. He's gonna go out there. Kyle O'Reilly's gonna go out there on his own. But being who Adam Cole is, he's going to prep his boy. He's not gonna let him go out there and not be prepared. Now Finn is ready for all comers. He's proven that time and time again.
Take away just the storyline. Let's look at real quick just their overall athleticism and their overall abilities. As I said, this match has match of the year screaming all over it. If you don't watch a single other match, this is the one you want to tune in for. And that is no disrespect among the rest of this roster. Because you look at some of the names of people who aren't even on the TakeOver card. There's no Breezango.
Yes.
There's no Adam Cole. There's no Undisputed Era other than Kyle O'Reilly. You look at, there's no Shotzi Blackheart. There's no Charlotte Flair. There's no... the list goes on and on and on of all of these people who are extremely talented, and yet they're nowhere to be found on this roster. And yet it's Kyle O'Reilly you're trusting to be in this main event spot with Finn Balor. Both of them, there's not a move in this business. High flying, talent level, speed, quickness, power, submission. There's no move that either of these two can't hit. And also... their ability to be able to survive in matches for such a long time, this has a very similar feel of what could be a great rivalry over the next couple of months. Very similar to what we saw with Gargano and Ciampa. So, we've discussed it to death. Finally down to brass tacks. Who you got?
I love both men. You know I love both men, but...
And she may mean that more literally than she's leading on.
I really am. I'm not going to go against the Prince. I can't. No offense to O'Reilly. He's a rock star in my eyes. He, rock and rolls all day. But Finn, when the lights are on the brightest, all over the world has gotten it done. And this is not going to be any different, honestly. So
we're going with I guess we're claiming him Mr. Takeover.
Mr. Takeover, the Prince, Prince Devitt, Finn Balor, the Demon, whatever you want to call him.
I think that, as I said, and I've used the term match of the year, and I don't use that loosely.
Oh, no, you don't.
Right now, I don't think there's much debate amongst anybody that when it comes to match of the year candidates at this point, you've got two matches you can throw into name right now. You're either talking about the Undertaker's, a filmed match at WrestleMania, or you're talking AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan on SmackDown for the Intercontinental title back in May.
Yes.
You maybe could argue maybe Sasha and Bayley's tag team title win, but I don't think that one's quite up there yet. But this one right now, just by the two of them standing in the ring at the same time, this is going to get a "this is awesome" chant, probably from every person who's waiting in here, including in our living room. All the talent levels there, and there's one thing that was said in that Finn Balor and Kyle O'Reilly segment that says Kyle O'Reilly has all the makings to be NXT champion. And you would be NXT champion if anyone else in this company was holding the title except for me.
Yes. Again.
Finn Balor, speaking what in his mind is the truth, he is saying basically you are the second best competitor in NXT without a doubt in his mind, but you're not number one. That's my spot, until you're ready to take it from me. Now, of course, I can't, make the official pick without, of course, also mentioning, that if Kyle was to somehow get it done, do we maybe get an Evolution storyline where
great,
Cole says, "Congratulations, you did it. Now
hand it over.
Hand over what's mine." And, we end up with a Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole rivalry, which there's a whole nother storyline in of itself that could lead to some great matches. But I think that statement holds true. Kyle O'Reilly, if these two guys faced each other 10 times, this is probably a 5-5 or a 6-4 type of feel to it. But I think that when the match has the title on the line and the big moments, assuming that the Undisputed Era holds their word and is going to let Kyle do this on his own, I think Balor's just a little better. I like Balor to retain.
Nice.
So, 3 picks different, two the same. So we're going to see some movement in the board. Kia could tie it up. I could go up by as many as 4. Kia could go up by as many as 2. So, a lot of potential movement there, but, a fun pay-per-view coming up this Sunday, to say the least. So
I'm excited for it.
I am as well. And so now we come back to you guys. First of all, for those of you who did join us, thank you for being with us. We appreciate all that you guys bring to us. This is fun. We enjoy doing this every week.
I do.
Whether we have one watcher or whether we have 100, we don't care. This is fun to us. We enjoy it.
I do. I get to actually voice and be confident in my predictions when I do it and my explanations, and it's also helping me to be able to say I feel confident in my pick.
Yep. So we'll see how Takeover goes. Of course, that's Sunday at 7 o'clock. Our picks are in. When they eventually do put the kickoff match on there, we'll throw a post on there with our pick. But we talked about what we've got coming up next week. We will have the official announcement of it on Sunday, but to give you a kind of a preview, it involves the WWE Draft, which is coming up next week. Of course, Friday night, they're going to be having a humongous SmackDown. Sasha Banks and Bayley for the SmackDown Women's title. That match is going to finally happen. You've got Big E and Sheamus in a Falls Count Anywhere. There was one other really good match that was set up as well, but I can't.
Is it the Roman and the Jey Uso? No, that's not.
That's Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, I'm thinking far ahead. Don't mind me. Keep going.
It's okay. There's one other match that I remember sitting here, and when I saw it go across, I was like, oh, that's going to be a good one. And then, of course, Otis and Miz apparently going to court over Money in the Bank, and I'll be curious to see how that plays out.
Now, he needs to be ashamed of himself. This Otis won this briefcase, and you trying to do everything in your power. You already sent his peach away. What more do you want to do? Bring him to his knees?
No comment. Anyway, so we'll see how it all pans out. But our special coming up for next week is going to involve the WWE Draft. On Sunday, we are going to have another video that's going to come out that's going to explain what we're talking about. So be sure to join us for that. But as for tonight, that was on the ring apron / top rope spoilers for NXT Takeover 31. Thank you so much for being with us. Kia gets the takeout, so I'm going to slide under the camera here, and Kia will take us home.
So, as you know, this month is Breast Cancer Month. It's October. I'm not wearing no pink. Obviously, all my pink is in the laundry. I gotta go do it. But with that being said, donate, even if it's just a little bit. Give what you can. If you can't bake cookies, do something that supports this good cause for, women all over the world who's trying to fight this uphill battle. With that being said, y'all have a good night. Enjoy the pay-per-view come Sunday, and we will keep you posted. Love you guys. Bye. Mwah.